BMW's sky-high beginnings. Fast cars, right? German precision. M-Power. But hold your horses. Before all that tire-shredding fun, BMW wasn't dreaming of Nürburgring lap times. Their gaze was fixed firmly upwards to the endless blue sky. Yes, you heard correctly. Aircraft engines. It all kicked off back in 1916. The First World War was in full swing. Germany needed engines. Powerful ones. Reliable ones. So a little company called Rapp Motorenwerke merged and became Bayerische Motorenwerke, BMW. Their job? Build the best aero engines. Their first real showstopper was the BMW 30A engine, thanks to a chap called Max Friz. It had a special high-altitude carburetor, meaning it performed brilliantly way up high. Performance was in BMW's blood from day one. So, the Great War ended. Bang! Germany lost comprehensively. Then came the Treaty of Versailles. No more aircraft engines. Germany, well, that was a bit of a spanner in the works. For BMW, whose main business was, aircraft engines, their primary source of income? Gone. What was a fledgling engine maker to do? They had to adapt or face extinction. It was really as simple as that. So they tried their hand at a few things. Railway brakes, office furniture. They desperately needed something with an engine, then a spark of genius. Motorcycles. Max Friz, that clever engine designer, he was still knocking about the place. In 1923, he unveiled the R32. This wasn't just any old motorbike. It boasted a flat twin boxer engine and a shaft drive. These features were pretty revolutionary back then. Reliable, smooth. It set the BMW bike template. And just like that, BMW was back in business. Motorcycles were doing rather well, very well indeed. But BMW, being BMW, had grander ambitions. They were thinking about four wheels, a proper motor car. The late 1920s were dawning. Cars were clearly the coming thing. BMW wanted a slice of that delicious automotive pie. But how to go about it? Designing a car from a completely blank sheet? Expensive, terribly risky. There had to be another way, and they found one. In a town called Eisenach, a company named Fahrzeugfabrik Eisenach. They were busy building a small car under license from the Austin Motor Company in Britain, the Little Austin 7, a tiny, popular runabout. BMW, in a shrewd move, bought the company. In 1928, a gamble? Perhaps. A masterstroke? Absolutely. It was their golden ticket into the car game, a foot in the door, so to speak. So what was BMW's very first car? The BMW 315th PS, affectionately known as the Dixie. Yes, alright, it was essentially a rebadged Austin 7. Some purists will scoff. Not a true BMW, they'll wail. Nonsense. It got them on the automotive ladder. It proudly wore the blue and white roundel. And crucially, it sold. It was a start, a rather modest one, you might say. BMW was definitely making headway. Their cars were evolving, becoming more sophisticated, more powerful. The BMW 328 sports car, an absolute jewel. A masterpiece of its era, winning races left, right, and center. Things were looking distinctly rosy for our Bavarian heroes. Then, 1939 rolled around. Oh dear. Another global conflict, World War II, and everything changed. Again, car production, it pretty much ground to a halt. Motorcycle production? That continued mainly for military use. But the primary focus for BMW, it swung right back to where they started. Aircraft engines, thousands of them, for the German Luftwaffe's war machine. This is a chapter in BMW's history that, quite understandably, they don't tend to shout about. But it's a fact. It happened. Part of their complex story. The war eventually shuddered to an end. Germany once again was left devastated. BMW's factories, bombed to smithereens, battered beyond belief. Some, like the Eisenach plant, were in East Germany, lost to the Soviets, gone forever. The main Munich plant, a pile of rubble. The Allies then slapped a ban on them from making cars, or much else, frankly. It looked incredibly bleak. The New Class Act, how BMW dodged a bullet. Post-war BMW was in a terrible state. Financially, they were on the ropes. They produced the beautiful 507 Roadster. Elvis Presley owned one, but it cost a fortune to build. They lost money on every single one. Then they made the Isetta bubble car. It kept them alive, but it wasn't a proper BMW. By the late 50s, BMW was teetering, on the brink of financial collapse. Mercedes-Benz was circling like vultures, Ready to swoop in and pick up the pieces, a takeover seemed inevitable. The end of BMW as an independent force. Imagine a world without the M3. It was genuinely that close. A whisker away from oblivion. The future looked exceedingly grim. Then a knight in shining armor appeared. The Quant family, specifically Herbert Quant. He saw potential. He invested his own money. He believed in BMW's engineering prowess. He backed a bold new vision, a new range of cars. Not too big, not too small, sporty, dynamic, and well-made. They called it the Neuklasse, the BMW 1500, launched at the 1961 Frankfurt Motor Show. This car changed everything. It was a revelation. M-Power, the birth of a motoring legend. The new class had successfully put BMW back on the map. They were building excellent cars again, profitable cars. But some customers, the more enthusiastic ones, craved something more. More speed, more thrills, more, well, you know what I'm going to say, more power. BMW, to their credit, listened, as they often do, eventually. So they decided to cook up something truly special for their motorsport ambitions and for the road. Enter BMW Motorsport GmbH, officially founded in 1972. It started as a relatively small, dedicated team, but they had a colossal mission to transform BMW's already quick cars into racing champions, to utterly dominate on the world's racetracks, and crucially, to bring that cutting-edge racing technology to cars that ordinary, well, fairly well-off mortals could buy, the letter M. It would soon become synonymous with magic, pure, unadulterated, tire-shredding automotive magic. Their first proper M-badged road car? Well, some argue it was the 530 MLE in South Africa, or perhaps the E12M 535i. Debatable. But the one car that truly announced M's arrival, the M1, a jaw-dropping mid-engined supercar styled by Giugiaro, its development involved Lamborghini briefly, a somewhat complicated birth, it has to be said, but what a machine! A genuine statement of intent. BMW M had arrived. The ultimate driving machine. They weren't lying, were they? Throughout the 1970s, 80s, and 90s, BMW just kept getting better, and better, and better. Their advertising slogan, the ultimate driving machine. Now that's a bold claim. A seriously audacious statement. But you know what? For a very long time, they consistently, brilliantly backed it up. Car after car, model after model, they just got it right. Time and time again, it was an astonishing run of form. Consider the 3 Series, the definitive compact sports saloon. Every ambitious young executive had one, or desperately craved one. Then the 5 Series, the ultimate executive express, blisteringly fast, supremely comfortable, and fantastic to drive. And the 7 Series, taking the fight to the mighty Mercedes S-Class, and often winning, certainly on driving pleasure. These cars didn't just compete in their segments, they defined them. For entire generations of drivers, they set the bar incredibly high. Relentless innovation was absolutely key to their success. BMW was never afraid to push the engineering envelope. Those silky smooth, powerful straight-six engines, legendary. Advanced suspension designs that somehow delivered both a magic carpet ride and pin-sharp handling. The aggressive shark nose styling of the 70s and 80s. Purposeful, menacing, unmistakable. And then iDrive. Oh, the original iDrive. Hugely controversial at first, but it revolutionized car interiors. They painstakingly built an ironclad reputation for outstanding quality. Electric Avenue, BMW plugs into the future, whether I like it or not. Then came the 21st century, and with it new headaches, emissions regulations, fuel economy targets, saving the planet, all that worthy, deeply sensible, slightly dull stuff. And of course, the inexorable rise of the electric car. Silent, soulless, some of us dinosaurs might grumble. What would BMW do? The purveyor of glorious, noisy, petrol-powered beasts, could they adapt, yet again? It was a monumental question. The automotive world held its breath. They tentatively dipped their toes into the electric waters, with the Mini E and the Active E, essentially glorified test beds on wheels. Then, in 2011, they launched the i sub-brand. This was BMW getting serious about electric mobility. The i3, a quirky carbon fiber electric city car. Very clever, very innovative, very, very different. The i8, a plug-in hybrid supercar. Looked like it had just beamed down from another planet. It proved BMW was thinking long and hard. Now in 2025, electric BMWs are becoming commonplace. The i4, the iX, the i7, the i5, they're systematically electrifying their core model ranges. Some traditionalists, myself included, grumble a bit. We miss the evocative sound of a straight six, the faint whiff of petrol, the mechanical vibrations. But you can't halt the march of progress, or can you? So what's the verdict? BMW's glorious, noisy legacy. So there you have it, the story of BMW. From magnificent aircraft engines, to rugged motorcycles, to iconic cars, it's been a roller coaster ride, full of highs and lows, and moments of triumph. Never a dull moment. They gifted the world the 328, the Neue Klasse saloons, the legendary M cars, the 3, 5, and 7 series. Cars that made you want to drive. They weren't always flawless. Chris Bangle's design era. A few questionable decisions, but overall, a stunning track record. Their impact, immense. They proved saloon cars could be fun, performance and usability in harmony. They pushed engineering boundaries, built a brand people desire, and sometimes get cross about. Always a good sign. BMW has always been about its engines.